Today we continue with our class Hilchot Teshuva. Today is class number 21. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Lashon, and today's topic, new lease on life. At times the willingness to overlook and forgive can cause person's life on this world to be extended, even after HaShem has decreed that his time has come. The Talmud relates in Rosh Hashanah 17a. So before we see what Rosh Hashanah 17a says, so it's very interesting statement. 1 second, let me admit to more people. Right? So they say at times, so whatever we do, we forgive others, right? And our life is being extended. Very interesting. Rav Huna, the son of Rabbi Yeshua, fell ill. Rav Papa went to visit him. Upon seeing that he was unconscious, Rav Papa told them, Rav Huna's attendants, prepare provisions for him. There is ready his burial shrouds. In the end, Rav Huna recovered. Rav Huna attendants asked him, Rav Huna, what did you see while unconscious? He told them, indeed, that is how it was that the death had been decreed upon me. So Rav Papa was right, 100%. Right? The death was decreed upon him. But the Holy Man, blessed be he, instructed them, because he does not exact his measure, therefore do not be exacted with him. Right? So measure for measure, he is not insisting on so-called justice. So, okay. So we also not going to insist on a justice with you. As it is written, he forgives transgressions and passes over sins. It's Micha 7:18. Whose sins does he forgive? One who passes over the sins. Right. So person forgives whoever wronged him. So HaShem is going to forgive him. Okay. Therefore, so but the main point is, is that to understand that whatever happened to us, it happened because of HaShem, not because of the wicked person. So I have to do Teshuva. I have to understand what it's between me and HaShem, basically. That person just a pawn in this game. Therefore, one should cling to his sacred attribute of this sacred attribute constantly. In this way, it will be good for him in this world and in the world to come. Right? Meaning, don't insist on the justice, basically, with other people. Okay. Okay. So let's continue with Hilchot Teshuva. Let's use the screen. One second. I'm not sure what's going on. Why I said admit all. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so very good now. So we're on chapter number 5. Chapter number 5, and Mishneh also 5. And just to remind ourselves, so we're talking about, let me see if anybody's waiting. So we're talking about the free choice. Okay, so let's go. So Mishneh number 5. One might ask, since the Holy One, blessed be he, knows everything that will occur before it comes to pass, does he or does he not know whether a person will be righteous or wicked? So that's what we said last time. That's a famous question. But he knows or he does not know. If he knows that he will be righteous, it appears impossible for him not to be righteous. However, if one would say that despite his knowledge, that his knowledge, meaning Hashem's knowledge, that he, meaning person, would be righteous, it is possible for him to be wicked, then his knowledge, meaning Hashem's knowledge, would be incomplete. So that's a famous question, all of these philosophers, right? Okay. Any questions? Somebody? Okay. Somebody, could you put us on mute? Note that the resolution to this question can be described as it is a measure is longer than the earth and the broader than the sea. Okay, so it's not such an easy answer, right? Many great and fundamental principles and lofty concepts are dependent upon it. Meaning, as we said before, it's a foundation of Judaism, the free choice. Well, let's see. Abraham, could you put us on mute, please? Sorry. Okay. Could you put us on mute, please? Right. No. Hold on a second. That's Abraham, could you put us on mute? Okay. Note that the resolution to this question can be described as its measure is longer than the earth and the broader than the sea. Many great and fundamental principles and lofty concepts are dependent upon it. However, the statement that I will make must be known and understood as a basis for the comprehension of this matter. So basically what Rambam is saying, okay, the answer to this question is huge, but I'm going to give you like concise answer. But that's enough for you for now, right? As explained in the second chapter of Hilchot Yesodei HaTorah, it's in the beginning of this book. The Holy One, blessed be He, does not know with the knowledge that is external from Him, as do men. So we're going to explain it. Whose knowledge is self knowledge and the self are two different entities. Rather, may His name be blessed, and His knowledge are one. Human knowledge cannot comprehend this concept in its entirety. Just it is beyond the potential of man to comprehend and conceive the essential nature of the Creator. As the Shmos 33:20 states, no man will perceive me and live. Okay. So too, it is beyond man's potential to comprehend and conceive the Creator's knowledge. This was the intent of the prophets Yeshayahu 55a statements. For my thoughts are not your thoughts. Nor your ways are my ways. Okay. Accordingly, we do not have the potential to conceive how the Holy One, blessed be He, knows all of the creations and their deeds. However, this is known without any doubt that man's actions are in his own hands, and the Holy One, blessed be He, does not lead him to a particular direction or decree that He decree that He do anything. And so we're talking about free choice. This matter is known not only as a tradition of the faith, but also through the clear proofs from the words of the wisdom. Consequently, the prophets taught that the person is judged for his deeds according to his deeds, whether good or bad. This is the fundamental principle on which is dependent all the words of the prophets. So it sounds, of course, very complicated, and there are many commentaries, and we're going to try to explain it as simple as possible. Okay, but as Rambam said a few times at least, in this halacha, it's very fundamental concept. We must know it, understand completely. Okay, so let's start. So number 5 from the beginning, page 672. One might ask, since the Holy One, blessed be He, knows everything that will occur before it comes to pass, does He or does He not know whether a person will be righteous or wicked? Okay, so that's a good question, right? So first commentary, since the Holy One, blessed be He, knows everything that will occur before it comes to pass. 43. Dvarim Rava, so it's Medrash, Dvarim Rava, 222 states, God knows that what has been and what will be in the future. As Yeshayahu 46 verses 9 and 10 states, there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning. So basically, HaShem knows end and He knows beginning, right? So before something is before it comes to pass, He knows how it's going to end. Basically, right? Okay. Does he? So Rambam continues. Does he or does he not know whether a person will be righteous or wicked? So if he knows what we're going to choose, right? So does he know? Does he know or does not know whether a person will be righteous or wicked? Okay, so that's a good question. So commentary. The concept of the free choice and God omniscience appear contradictory. So omniscience meaning that He knows everything, all of the output, right? All outcome, right? Outcome is a better word. So He knows outcome. So if He knows outcome, it looks like I didn't have a free choice. It was predetermined what I'm going to choose. How, right? That's the question. As explained in Halachas 3 and 4, the concept of free choice is a fundamental to our faith. Similarly, the concept of the God omniscience is stated in Hilchot Torah 2:9 as one of the essential fundamentals of our thought system. The existence of the entities which are not known by God would imply that they are independent of Him and thus are the gods, as it were. So the last sentence, let's read it again, and it's a very strong statement. So it says, the existence of entities which are not known by God. So meaning if you say that something He does not know, whatever is it, right? That He does not know, meaning that they can exist independent of Him, meaning that somebody else is controlling them, right? So meaning that, as you said, other gods. Okay, so, and it's one of the 13 principles of Judaism, the reward and punishment, right? So reward and punishment means that the person has a free choice. So if he does good according to HaShem and His Torah, so he's going to get reward. If he does bad according to the Torah, so he's going to get punished, right? So he knows, like if he knows in advance, maybe I don't have a free choice. Maybe he knew that, not maybe, he knew that I would do this, right? Or I do that. Or he did not know. Okay, that's the question. So continue. If he knows that he will be righteous, he meaning another person, it appears impossible for him not to be righteous. So meaning if HaShem knows that this person is going to be righteous, how is it possible for a person not to be righteous if HaShem already knows what this person is going to choose in the future, right? Commentary. And thus, there would appear to be a restriction on a man's freedom of choice, right? So it's very good commentary. So if Hashem knows that this person is righteous, so it means that he has no chance to be wicked. That's the question, right? So in commentary, say one more time. Thus, there would appear the restriction on the man's freedom of choice. Continue. However, if one would say that despite his knowledge that he would be righteous, it is possible for him to be wicked. His knowledge, I mean, Hashem knows that this person must be righteous, and this guy from nowhere chose to be wicked, right? Then his knowledge would be incomplete. That means that there is something exists that Hashem did not know. He did not anticipate this, right? So let's see the commentary. One more time, the whole sentence with commentaries. However, if one would say that despite his, meaning Hashem's knowledge, that he, meaning the person, would be righteous, right? It is possible for him to be wicked, commentary, granting man totally free choice, okay? Then his knowledge would be incomplete, meaning there is something that Hashem did not know, Chas v'shalom, which we just say it's not possible. So commentaries say, and there would be entity with a certain degree of independence from God. Right? Independence of God, meaning what there is that this person is not under the influence of God in some sense, right? Chas v'shalom, right? Furthermore, if God did not have a complete knowledge of the man's future behavior, after man acts independently, God's learning of the choice which person made would involve the change within him. One of the basic principles of faith that God cannot change. See response of Rivash 118. So that's amazing statement. So let's read one more time and try to understand. Okay, so let's say they say if a person chose not to be righteous, so Hashem knew that he's supposed to be righteous. Person chose not to be righteous, right? So it says further, if God did not have complete knowledge of the man's future behavior, right? According to this hypothetical situation, right? After the man's act independently, so Hashem said that he's going to be righteous, who choose the right in this situation, but this person chose wrong, let's say, right? God's learning of the choice which a person made would involve the change within him, meaning that Hashem knew that the person should be righteous in this specific situation, and now the person was not righteous, he chose otherwise. The situation meaning that now Hashem has to go back and change this piece of information within him, within his knowledge, meaning that this person is not righteous. So you understand? So it says that in some sense, it's a brilliant commentary, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, that knowledge of Hashem's and knowledge of Hashem is actually one and the same. So it was imperfect, and now he has to fix it, has to take adjustment. For us, I mean, it's normal to make I don't know, mistakes with the numbers. So it was 87, 78. Like it's normal for a person. Nobody would take us responsible. I mean, okay, that we must remember all of these numbers by heart, for example, or whatever numbers, right? So, but with Hashem, it's not possible. It's not possible. So if something was imperfect and it has to change, that is going to contradict the principle of faith that Hashem is never going to change. He's never going to change his Torah, and he's not going to change his principle, and he's never going to change himself. So meaning what? It's not true. Okay. So basically, how he knows, right? Everything that we're going to choose, and we have a free choice at the same time. That's the basic question. Know that the resolution to this question can be described as its measure is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. Okay, no more, no less, right? So 48. The phrase is borrowed from Yov 11:9. Okay. Many great principles. So I think that they say that even if the whole earth is going to be the paper, right? And all of the oceans are going to be like ink, and all of the trees are going to be like pencils, and we're going to write all of the answer to the question. It's not going to be enough to finish the answer. I think that's what it's from there. Okay. Many great and fundamental principles are lofty concepts are dependent upon it. Right? That's the very root of the Judaism. Right? This free choice. However, the statements that I will make must be known and understood as a basis for the comprehension of the matter. So Rambam is saying, I'm going to give you a simple answer. Simple. Though Rambam does not completely resolve the apparent contradiction, but outlining the fundamental principle of faith, involved in the issue, he demonstrates how the matter transcends our human comprehension. So Rambam is the commentary is saying, okay, Rambam said, okay, first of all, it's very complicated answer. Okay, just so you know, right? And I'm just going to show you how, with all your tools, right, with all your intellect, is not enough to comprehend the matter. So, and if you think about it, so if somebody describe for us some new thing, for example, so the person is described that is like this or like that, it's round, let's say, well, whatever is it, it's round. So we already can imagine the circle. Okay, this side, that side, this shape, that doesn't make any difference. Bigger, thicker, smaller, thinner, does not make any difference. We always can imagine the circle, or we can imagine color red or blue. So maybe it like more blue, less blue. So that does not make any difference, right? Where we can imagine, but there's something that it's just out of comprehension, right? We have nothing to compare to. That's what Rambam is saying. I mean, he's going to show us how we have to understand. We have to come to conclusion that with our intellect, it's not, because our intellect is limited. As we said, we can only understand the things that we have experience in, right? Okay, so continue. As explained in the second chapter of Hilchot Yesodei HaTorah, commentary. The Holy One, blessed be He. Okay, so let's finish the verse. Does not know with the knowledge that the external from Him as to man, whose knowledge and selves are two different entities. Okay, they're going to explain in the commentary. So basically, the big idea is that us, right, as an individual, and ideas that we have in our heads, and the thing that we have idea about, three different things. So this idea can exist independently on me, right? I can exist independent of this idea. The thought can exist independent of me, right? And I can exist independent of the thought, but I can have thought about something, but I don't know if it exists, right? Even though it is, right? But sometimes all of these three are the same. So I thought something, I have a thought, and I have this knowledge. So these three are the same. But with HaShem, all of Him, His knowledge, and all of these ideas, and the knowledge idea is or like object are all the same. That's why for us it's not comprehensible, right? So for us, there is, let's say there is a news or whether there is a rain somewhere. Okay, maybe there is a rain. I'm not aware of the rain, but is the rain there? Yes, but I don't have even idea that there is rain in some state, right, or some country. Okay, that's a broad idea, but we're going to explain. Let's see from the beginning with commentary. As explained in the second chapter of Hilchot Yesodei HaTorah, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not know with the knowledge that external from Him, as do men. So as we just explained, right? For whose knowledge is sourced as two different entities. Okay. So let's see commentary. Halacha 10 of that chapter states, God recognizes the truth of His being and knows it as it is. One more time, God recognizes the truth of His being and knows that it as it is. He does not know with a knowledge that is separate from Him, as we know. Okay, for we are not with our knowledge. So, okay, sometimes a person can have knowledge, as we just explained. Sometimes he does not have a knowledge, but just because he does not have knowledge does not mean that this thing does not exist. Just because I'm not aware of rain being in some place does not mean that it's not raining there. So knowledge and myself, two separate things, but not so with HaShem. In the contrast, the Creator, blessed be He, His knowledge, and His life, whatever it means, right, are one from every side and standpoint and every manner of unity. Okay, so I'm going to read one more time. In the contrast, the Creator, blessed be His knowledge and His life are one from every side and standpoint and every manner of unity. So HaShem includes everything. So for us, I think that's a good example, right, with the knowledge. So I can have knowledge or don't have knowledge. With HaShem, His life, His knowledge, and Himself, it's all one and the same. For were He to live with a life that apart from Him, or know with a knowledge that apart from Him, there would be many gods. Right, so that's simple, right? He, His knowledge, and His life. So would be three different things that not always interconnected, right? Meaning what? He, His knowledge, and His life. Thus, you must say that that He's a knower, meaning the one who knows. He's the object of knowledge. So He, the one who knows, He's the object of knowledge, meaning knowledge itself, and He is the knowledge itself, exactly. All in one. So that's why Rambam said that in the commentary that he's going to show us that all of these concepts, they're foreign to us. I mean, because we have nothing to compare it to, but he explaining in simple terms, of course, all in one. This matter is beyond the potential of our mouth to mention, our ears to hear, and or a heart of man to grasp in its entirety. Right, so Rambam said, okay, I told you the simple answer, but guess what? You're not going to understand, because as I was trying to explain before, there is nothing to compare it to, right? Nothing. We have totally different existence from, not like of HaShem. So let's read this commentary again, this line again with the next commentary. As explained in the second chapter of Hilchot Torah, we just commented, the Holy One, blessed be He, does not know with the knowledge that is external from Him, as men do, as we explained, whose knowledge and knowledge and selves are two separate entities. It's two different entities. Okay, 51 commentary. In the Guide of the Perplexed, Volume 1, Chapter 68, the Rambam relates that the human intellect reflects the interrelations of the three entities: the person who conceives the idea, right? Person, the idea which is desires to conceive, right? The idea, the thought, as we explained, and the actual thought process. So the idea, the idea that it desires to conceive, I called it an object, right? So they call it a little different. Right? And the actual thought process. So for us, those are three independent things. Okay. Shmona Prakim explained that a person can exist independent of the idea, right? Of the idea he conceives, and the idea can exist independent of the person. That they're obviously two separate entities. Okay. So this rain that summer, so it can rain. And I have no idea that it's rain, but I can find out, and I have knowledge about that rain. So three separate things. Okay. Let me know if any questions. Okay, continue then. Rather, He, HaShem, may His name be praised, and His knowledge are one. Right? So HaShem and His knowledge are one. 52 commentary. Within God's knowledge, there is no concept of separation. He is one with His knowledge. Furthermore, in Hilchot Torah 2:10 continues, He does not know the creation from the perspective of the creation as we know them. Right? So let's, okay. Rather, he comprehends them from his perspective. So, so we know some external things, right? We comprehend the creations from external things, but he knows the essence of the creation. Thus, as we know him, thus as he knows himself, he knows everything. Thus, he is the one with the object of knowledge as well. So, I mean, we can read it in another time, but I mean, the idea is the same, that HaShem, his knowledge and object are one and the same. Okay. Okay, so but let's see one more time. So it, of course, for us, it's impossible to comprehend, like fully. I mean, on a high level, I mean, it's clear, but fully comprehend this idea, it's very hard. So one more time. Thus, thus as he knows himself, he meaning HaShem, he knows everything. Thus he is the one with the object of knowledge as well. Verse 52. Continue. Human knowledge cannot comprehend this concept in its entirety. So as we said, don't feel that there is something wrong with you. That's a difficult concept, but since we just explained why it's very hard for us to comprehend or impossible to comprehend, so we just have to accept it. Okay. So I mean, still Rambam gives us a general idea. Within commentary 52, the basis of the difference between our knowledge and that of Creator is, nevertheless, within our comprehension. Right? How our knowledge is different from Hashem knows. God is Kadmon. Nothing caused him, and he exists independent of all other entities. Accordingly, all of the God's powers and all of the effects produced by them, including his knowledge, are on, and all that he knows exists within the context of his oneness. Okay, let's read one more time, try to explain. Okay, so nothing can cause him, and now can cause him. So all of our lives, right, that consists of cause and effect. Right, something was cause, and it created an effect, and that's how we live, right? But with Hashem, it's totally different, right? Nothing caused him, so meaning he was here before us, and he's going to be here forever, right? And he exists independent of all entities. So, and we, for example, human, we cannot exist independent of all entities. We must have elements. We must have water and I don't know, food and air to breathe, right? And Hashem does not need that. Accordingly, all of the God's powers and all the effects produced by him, including his knowledge, are all that he knows, exist within the context of his oneness. I mean, so knowledge and causes and everything that exists is part of his oneness. So for us, as we said, our knowledge and our existence are not the same, but for him it is the same. Right? In a contrast, man exists within the context of the of the environment, separate from him, from himself. So basically, I can exist only with this environment, and this environment can exist without me. Very good, or without any other person. But Hashem's environment, if so to say, cannot exist without him. That's the difference. Well, one of the differences. Even the powers granted to him existed before he came into being. So one of even the powers granted to him meaning a person, existed before he came to being, meaning all of the earth and everything was there before we were born, right? Therefore, even though through his knowledge, man can reach beyond himself and develop a connection with the other entities. That connection, as any bond with external entity, is by definition limited to the complete oneness can exist. No complete oneness can exist. Okay, so let's read this sentence again and try to explain. Therefore, even though through his knowledge, man can reach beyond himself to develop connection with other entities, right? Man can develop, right? Have connection with other entities and knowledge about other entities. That connection, as any bond with the external entity, is by definition limited. So meaning this entity, whatever is it, can behave differently. That doesn't have to, I'm not in control of it, right? As is by definition limited, and a complete oneness, and no complete oneness can exist. Complete oneness meaning that the environment and I is the same thing, and I control the environment, which is not true, as you know, right? So it's hard to comprehend how HaShem and he and the knowledge and environment and everything is one and the same. Okay, continue with Rambam. Just as it beyond the potential of the man's comprehension to conceive the essential nature of Creator, as the Shmos 33:20 states, no man will perceive me and live, right? Perceive me and live. So too, it is beyond the man's potential to comprehend and conceive the Creator's knowledge, right? So let's understand this line one more time. No, Hashem said, no man will perceive me and live. Here they have perceive, but some other places they have see me, right? See. No, nobody. I think it's a conversation with Moshe. So he wanted to see Hashem, whatever it means, and Hashem said, nobody is going to see me. Okay, 54. The world, the word creation implies the existence of a creator would be of totally different nature than the entity he creates, and thus unable to be comprehended by them. Right. So as we said before, we understand things around us based on our knowledge about our experience in life, right? But here it's different dimension. Okay, so one more time, the whole sentence. No man will perceive me and live. So too, it is beyond the man's potential to comprehend and conceive the Creator's knowledge. Right, so 55, which is one of his essence. Which is one of his essence. So Hashem, one of the Hashem's essence is his knowledge. Okay, so all right, and knowledge, as we said, it's not a part of our essence. A human can have knowledge or don't have knowledge. There is people can live without knowledge, like I don't know, like sick people, mentally sick people. They can have zero knowledge and still live, no problem. Okay, so continue. This was the intent of the prophet Yeshayahu 55:8 statements. My thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways, nor your ways are my ways. Okay, so what does it mean? Commentary. Though we are also blessed with the power of knowledge, the difference between his knowledge and our knowledge is greater than the difference between the heaven and earth. Guide of the Perplexed, Volume 3, Chapter 20. So in simple words, why is such a difference between our knowledge and Hashem's knowledge? So when Hashem sees the situation, just a simple example, right? So he sees all of the generations that were before that person, right, in question, and all the generation that going to come after, and he sees all of these things that going on in his heart that nobody would know, ever find out. Maybe even this person did not never draw such a conclusions about himself, right? But Hashem knows all this, so his knowledge and my knowledge. So I have, I know this person. Maybe I don't know. I saw him 5 times in my life, 10 times in my life. So I have my personal understanding of this personality, but it has nothing to do with Hashem's knowledge. even somebody close to us. So we live like we have a spouse, and we think that we know the spouse, but the truth is we don't many times, right? So but HaShem knows everything, right? So that's why our knowledge cannot be that's why we many times we do not know why HaShem did such a thing, whatever he did, because our knowledge is simply not enough. Like as I always say, like people ask me for advice, and sometimes I tell them I don't have enough information to give you advice. You give me half of the story, right? I heard only half of your side, and I need to hear another side, right? But HaShem knows this side and all of the sides that need to be known, right? That's how different we are. It's only one facet of difference, of course. Continue. Any questions? Okay. Continue. Accordingly, we do not have the potential. Okay, so yeah. Accordingly, we do not have the potential to conceive how the Holy One, blessed be He, knows all of the creations and their deeds. Okay. So Rambam said, so that's why he said, just take it easy, right? We don't have sufficient tools of our intellect, right, to understand. It's like an animal that you try to explain animal like something, so it's impossible. The poor creature does not have the adequate knowledge, intellect to understand what you want from that. Okay, so commentary. It's very long commentary. Wow, is the longest commentary in this book. Okay, let's start. Thus, it is impossible to fully explain the apparent contradiction mentioned in the beginning of the halacha. The Ravat comments on these statements, right? So, meaning the contradiction, the original question was, if he knows what I'm going to choose, if he knows that I'm going to be righteous, so how is it possible that I have free choice and to be wicked? So, meaning I did not have free choice, right? Or if he thought that I'm going to be righteous and I chose otherwise, means that something was missing from him, from his knowledge, and now he has to correct his knowledge. And we said HaShem is perfect. He cannot be he cannot have like some I don't know, missing information, right? That he did not know, and now we add to the puzzle. Okay. So that's our original statement. So let's see what Ravat has to say. So Ravat many times he goes against Rambam like full force. I'm not sure why this author like put all these things in this book, but let's see. So Ravat says, this commentator did not follow the manner of the wise. Here we go. Right? He's attacking Rambam. For the person should not initiate discussion over idea if he does not know how to conclude it. I mean, this I would say this general statement applies to maybe to us, but not to Rambam. Okay, so Ravat is saying, okay, so why Rambam asks all of this question if he does not know if he's not going to give us an answer? What Ravat implying maybe he does not know an answer. Okay, here we began. He meaning Rambam, began asking the question and left the matter unanswered, relying on the faith. I mean, but with these commentaries and with what was read, it's not like exactly like we got exactly zero from Rambam said. I think we got pretty good idea. I think that's my personal understanding. But Ravat attacking, right? If so, it would have been better to initially have the matter for the believers to accept it with trust, without arousing the hearts, causing their minds to be left in doubt. I'm not sure. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not sure why Arabat is saying that, because Rambam gives all of these proofs, and maybe because we have a commentaries that goes back to Hilchot Yisodei Torah and other sources, and Guide over Perplexed, that all of this combined knowledge, maybe not in this halacha, but when we learn with all of the commentaries, it's much easier for us to comprehend. If you just read halacha without all these commentaries, I guess it would be very different. Okay, that's my explanation why Rabat attacking Rambam, right? So he said if he did not know, so leave it to the trust for the believers, and don't introduce these doubts, right? Even though there is no ultimate answer, it is proper to offer a partial answer and say the man's righteousness and wickedness depends on the Creator's degree. There is his knowledge was his decree. Now he goes to different direction. I'm not sure. We would have to. We would have several questions. We would have severe questions. So let's read the sentence one more time. So basically, it does not contradict whatever we said, but let's see what Ravat is trying to say. So one more time. Even though there is no ultimate answer, okay, but Rambam warned us, right, that he's going to just give us a simple answer to understand that we cannot comprehend. Okay, but he said how exactly it works. Right? It is proper to offer a partial answer and say, we are the man's righteousness. Where the man's righteousness or wickedness depends on the Creator's decree. So if it would be the Creator's decree, there is his knowledge was decree, right? So if it would be depend on Creator's decree, so his knowledge would be decree. So he knows that we're going to be righteous, so we're going to be righteous. Okay. We would have the severe question, right? We will several questions. So if we said all of the decree that depends on the knowledge of HaShem, so we will stop right there. However, the Creator has removed this dominion from his hand and transferred it to man. So as we said before, many times, I guess, that everything in the hands of HaShem, everything is in the hands of heaven, except the fear of heaven. So fear of heaven means the free choice, whether we choose right or wrong. Thus, his knowledge is not a decree. Okay, so his knowledge is not a decree. So just because he knows does not mean that we didn't have a free choice. Rather, it resembles a knowledge of the astrologers who know from the appreciation of the one's power, that what will be a certain person's path or behavior. So the stargazer, right, all these astrologers, they would look, they can read on the stars, especially, we're not talking about Jews, we're talking about other nations, right? So they have all the constellations that are assigned to them. And the stargazer from the old, right, they would look and they know exactly what would happen, or not exactly, but we're very close to reality, what it would be happen to this person, right? So I'm not sure they would tell this person, would not tell the person, but it's more or less is going to happen. So what they're saying, so maybe it's something like close to that, right? So I mean, in this astrologers did not affect that person, but he just knew the information beforehand. It is well known that the fate which governs everything that happens to a person, whether a great or less importance, was transferred by Creator to the constellations, right? But again, it's only for non-Jews. So the decree is written on the star, on this planet, right? So and if they know how to read, so they can see the future, what to expect. However, he granted man the wisdom to have the power to take his destiny out from the under influence of constellation, right? So especially Jews, right? So we will not under any constellation, we're under HaShem. This is the power which was given to men to be either good or bad. All right. So whatever information is in a constellation is, right, is always subject to change. I'm just saying for myself. Is always subject to change based on person's behavior. Right. So even as we read in Chafetz Chaim's book, we said even if a bad decree was pronounced against that person based on his behavior, so it could be cancelled or postponed, right? Based on his free choice. The creator knows the power of constellations, and also whether man's intellect will have the power to remove the matter from their influence. Okay. Thus, his knowledge, meaning Hashem's knowledge, will have the power to remove the matter from their influence. Thus, his knowledge is not a decree. However, all this is not worthwhile. Okay, so Ravad said, okay, he gave us an explanation, but he said that's also not a good answer. Okay. So let's see. Continue this commentary. The Ravad objects to Rambam's statement because ultimately he leaves the matter of question of belief without explaining the issue of on the intellectual basis. But per my knowledge and per my understanding, Rambam explained. But okay, Ravad disagree. Okay. Thus, a person might be aroused to question to question and doubt these fundamental points of faith without receiving sufficient conceptual base to resolve them. So basically, there are some people who need logical explanation for everything, and I read this commentary or whatever they leave on our YouTube channel, right? And some people, they're so stupid, like, and they do not even know how they're supposed to hide this stupidity, right? So one lady said, "You're lying." About TIKKUN HaBRIT, right? She said it's very interesting concept, but Satan does not have wife. You're liars. From how do you know? Like, from where you use information? So in order to call somebody a liar, it means that you checked all of the sources that we gave you, right? And you said he does not have a wife. You understand? So same. I think it's like here what Ravad is saying, right? So these people say, I do not know. That's why it's not true. Why is it supposed to be not true? Just because you do not know. As we said before, Rambam, I think, Rambam is a commentary in Hilchot Torah. It's a different section. So he said it's just beyond your comprehension, because HaShem, his knowledge and the object are all one and the same for him. But for us, it's three different things. I mean, right? So why just because we do not know, we're going to reject it? This not smart lady. Okay. In his own attempt to resolve the issue, Ravad differentiates between the decree and knowledge. Okay, degree and knowledge. Okay. Divine decree and free choice are two contradictory concepts that can never be resolved, right? According to him, right? Divine decree, right, and free choice. Divine decree and free choice, two contradictory concepts that can never be resolved. However, God's knowledge is not a decree. So just because let me give you the answer what Rabbi Mizrahi Shlita always explains, right? So always he explained that in this world we understand everything connected to time. So without time as a dimension, this life does not make any sense, right? So you said it was yesterday, it was 2 minutes ago, so it's always about time, right? Yesterday was rain, and in 2 hours it starts raining, or it's night, or this and that. So it's all everything that in our life connects to time, right? I have to be at work by 9 a.m., let's say, right? But for HaShem, there is no time. There is no time. So when there is no concept of time, there is no past, present, or future. It's all for him at the same time. Of course, for us, it's not possible, right? Because for us, we have to understand like everything like going on in a sequence. It was yesterday. In 2 hours, I'm going to eat. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to this or that. So for us, it's all a matter of time. But for him, there is not. Right, so I think it's a very, very simple way to understand things. How he can know in the future. For us, it's future. For him, it's all the same. That's from Rabbi Yaron Reuven. It said his knowledge. So I'm continuing with the commentary. Now we're analyzing Rabat himself. It said his knowledge, meaning HaShem knowledge, can be compared to that of the person who appreciates the pattern of causation, and accordingly, right? So a pattern of causation, meaning this happens, and now because of this is going to happen, right? Pattern of causation, and accordingly knows that will be the future outcome. So because if you go to school and have a good degree, so you're going to have a good job. So that's what they say, right? Maybe not. Right? And no one would say that his knowledge caused the chain of events, right? So, right? No one would say that his knowledge would cause the chain of events, right? Not knowledge, but actions, right? The various arrays of forces involved produce the outcome, and the person was merely an outside bystander who was able to appreciate the factors at work. So he was just living in that, and one thing led to another, and that's all that happened, right? But it had nothing to do with his knowledge. So his knowledge did not affect this chain of events. That's what he's saying. Continue. The Ravat explained that the forces governing man's destiny are the powers of fate vested in the constellation. Right? In this matter as well, he contradicts Rambam, who discounts the influence of astrology, as explained in Halacha 4. So we read that Rambam said that all of these people are foolish, right? But Ravat said no, right? He still said no. There is something constellation, and other rabbis, great rabbis, also said there is something in constellation, but they cannot read it properly, right? So one more time, the Ravat explained that the forces of governing the man's destiny and the power of fate vested in the constellations, right? So meaning you can read future in the constellations. In this matter as well, he contradicts the Rambam, who discontinues the influence of astrology, as explained in Halacha 4. And man's power of choice, which is enclosed in his intellect. Okay, so he said, okay, actually, you think that you chose yourself? No, it's actually in the stars. It was written in the stars that you're going to choose so and so. Okay, that's a little contradiction, so continue. God knows the strengths of both these powers, and thus can appreciate the future outcome without at all compromising the man's power of choice. So basically, it was written in a constellation, but you choose this, so there is since you could not read the constellation, so there is no contradiction. Okay. However, in conclusion, the Ravat is unsatisfied with his own explanation as well, and prefers that the matter is left entirely to fate without any attempt to resolve it. I'm not sure why. I mean, the Rambam, I think, did a pretty good job. That's my understanding, intellectually. So Ravat said, you know what? I give you answer, but this answer is also not good. So let's leave it all to face. And okay, that's his approach. A resolution similar to that of Ravat is also offered by Rav Moshe Al-Moshino, right? See Medrash Shmuel Tosafos Yom Tov, Avos 3:15. Okay, who differentiate between the knowledge that an event will take place and the forces causing it to occur. Okay, different approach, but I mean they're all similar, but not as I think Rabbi Mizrahi Shlita explained it very beautifully. Okay, I mean beautiful and simple. They're very, very simple and straightforward. So continue. That Tosafos Yom Tov explains that Rambam also had this conception in mind. Nevertheless, he maintained that the matter can only be grasped through the faith because of the different problem. Right? So different problem meaning the comprehension, I guess. A person can predict the future events only if the chain of causation he comprehends is invariable. So meaning that the person can comprehend the future. So they say, if I buy this stock and now it's low and then it should go up and then I sell and a high price and I'm going to make money and I go into this and this and this. So that's his chain of event, right? And chain of causation, right? He comprehends it invariably. Okay. If there is a possibility for change, it is impossible for him to have any definite knowledge. So, but if it can, he just think that this stock is going to go up, maybe it's going to go down, right? So now with all his formula is like crumble. Thus, in regard to the question of free choice, we must say that there is a possibility for man to act as his wishes. Exactly. I mean, we came down to the same answer as Rambam was saying all along, right? So men have a free choice. If so, it is impossible for any knowledge that resembles man's to appreciate beforehand the outcome of such pattern of causation. So this commentary say that for us it is impossible to understand to foretell the outcome. Why? Because a person have a free choice. Maybe he's going to choose like this, maybe like that, right? But HaShem knows. However, God's knowledge. Okay, here we go. However, God's knowledge, with which he is one with His essence. So Him and His essence is one, and therefore views past, present, and future as one, exactly as Rabbi Mizrahi says, can appreciate the choice which man will make. So for us, it's all cause and effect, right? And cause comes before the effect, always, right? So it should be cause and then effect, and it's always in time sequence. Since for HaShem there is no time sequence, there is a simple explanation. There is no contradiction whatsoever. Continue. Torah or Pasha Vayera adds a further point. God's knowledge is a force which maintains the creation and keeps them in existence. So one more time. God's knowledge is a force which maintains the creation and keeps them in existence. Furthermore, God's potentials are complete. Okay, they can potentially complete in themselves, and thus must ultimately be expressed. Okay. One more time. Therefore, God's potential are complete in themselves, so He does not need cause and effect and know the future and call somebody so they would tell him how this person thinks and what he's going to choose. Right? Must ultimately be expressed. If so, the above cannot serve as a complete resolution of the apparent contradiction between free choice and God's omniscience. Okay, continue. Torah or concludes, differentiating between the two types of divine knowledge. Okay, frequently our sages use the expression, it is revealed and known before God. Right, so yeah, they always use, it is revealed and known before God. Describing God's knowledge in a passive term, right? Meaning that He knew all along. For us, it's a surprise, but HaShem knew all along, right? On the other hand, there are times when an active term is used. For example, in Bereshit 18:21, I will descend and see. So HaShem said about this, I think it's Sodom and Gomorrah, right? So HaShem said, I will descend and see what's going on there, right? It's Shmos 2:25. or it was about Egypt. Oh, no, it was probably Sodom and Gomorrah, and then the next one is about Egypt. So it says God saw the Israelites and God knew. Okay, so meaning what was going on in Egypt. So meaning in this case, it's like he did not know. He had to descend and see, right? And he saw in this second verse, and now he knows. Like he did not know before, in some sense. So like the implication. The active expression implies a type of knowledge which will bring about an effect in our world. In the above example, the destruction of Sodom, exactly, and the redemption of the Jews. Okay. In a contrast, the passive term alludes to God's knowledge as it is united with his essence. The level of he and his knowledge are one. Okay, so basically we coming back to what Rambam was explaining in the beginning. Then it's actually in a section Hilchot Torah. Not in this section, but in Hilchot Torah. The nature of that level of knowledge is too transcendent to have an effect on the matter of the world. God knows the course of the behavior we will choose through the second form of knowledge. Right? Hence, that knowledge does not affect our decisions and allow us to choose freely. So that's, I think, as I said, it was the longest comment. Maybe it was longer, but this is it. Okay, so let's go back to the sentence where we left off. It was what, 57. So one more time, the sentence that we just commented on. Accordingly, we do not have the potential to conceive how the Holy One, blessed be He, knows all of the creations and their deeds. Okay, so that's Rambam. Okay. However, this is known without a doubt that man's action are in his own hands, and the Holy One, blessed be He, does not lead him in a particular directions or decree that he do anything. As we said before, there is no outside forces that force a person to be good or evil. Right? A person has a free choice. Commentary. Thus, a man is granted absolute freedom to determine his own fate. Continue. This matter is known not only as a tradition of the faith, but also through the clear proofs from the words of the wisdom. Consequently, the prophets taught the person. The prophets taught that a person is judged for his deeds, right? So why we said that before, the prophets would say, please stop doing this and please start paying attention to HaShem. Meaning what? That we can go our way, HaShem, different ways, right? So he's asking. So HaShem is asking, meaning that's what he wants us to do. If you're going to go against me, right? You're going to get all the curses. Please choose life, right? So it says HaShem wants us to choose life. Curses and the blessings, but he said death or life. So, but he says choose life. So it means HaShem is clear that it's all in our hands. He cannot force us. He asks us, please choose life. Right? So one more time. Consequently, the prophets taught that the person is judged for his deeds, according to his deeds, whether good or bad. 59. Since the choice is man's, he must take responsibility for his deeds, as I said above in Halacha 2 and 4. Okay, so don't say that I was forced, I was raised like this or that. So it's not going to fly in a court of heaven. This is a fundamental principle on which they depend on all other words of the prophecies. See Halacha 4. So checking time. Oh, we actually, okay, perfect time. We actually finished that Halacha. And we finished the chapter. So we finished the chapter of free choice and we start new topics, chapter 6. No, not today. Don't worry. Any questions? Okay. Okay, so if no questions, no problem. So until tomorrow we're going to learn halachas of brachas. Thank you very much and good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Shalom v'chai everybody. Very happy to announce a major event coming up in Eretz Yisrael. This event is going to be unlike any other we've done as an organization. Last year we had a group of young guys that completed the entire Shas, Bavli, and the Mishnayot in a single year. This year we're going to have the entire foundation of the oral Torah completed in a single night. Our own dear Ephraim and other Talmidim of the organization. In a single night we'll have the completion of the Shas Bavli, Shas Mishnayot, the Zohar Kadosh, Zohar Chadash, TIKKUN Zohar, and the Shulchan Aruch. Years and years of toil, lots of effort is coming to fruition, and in a single night, all of it will be completed to sanctify Kadosh Baruch Hu's name. This is going to be a night where many Rabbanim, many Tzaddikim will be joining us at this event. There'll be hundreds and hundreds of people at the event in Eretz Yisrael, including the Rishon LeZion, Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef, of course, our own very dear Rabbi Ephraim Kachlon. I myself will also be joining, coming to Eretz Yisrael for the first time in many years, to join this monumental event, this monumental Kiddush Hashem, in order to sanctify Kadosh Baruch Hu's name, to show Him how much we love His Torah, how dedicated we are to His Torah, and to be able to, Be'ezrat Hashem, give chizuk to Am Yisrael in another way.
בעזרת השם, ארגון בעזרת השם מתעתד לעשות כנס גדול, שם יהיה סיום על עיקרי התורה שבעל פה, שזה סיום כל התלמוד בבלי, סיום כל השישה סדרי משנה, סיום כל הזוהר הקדוש ותיקוני הזוהר, וסיום כל השולחן ערוך. בדרך כלל לוקח זמן כדי לסיים את כל הספרים הללו, 30 שנה, 40 שנה, ובסייעתא דשמיא הארגון בעזרת השם עושה את הכנס לכל כלל ישראל. כולם מוזמנים.
We're looking forward for this event. We're also looking forward to seeing some of you that are going to be joining us. There are going to be some sponsorship opportunities for anyone that wants to be able to be a part of it. And of course, there'll be a opportunity for any of you that want to join us, one way or the other. Last but not least, there will also be a raffle that we'll be announcing very soon for anyone that wants to join the raffle and also be able to do Kiruv at the same time. The winner of the raffle will win a flight ticket to Eretz Yisrael and be able to join us at the event. So please look out for more news. Looking forward to seeing you at this event. And Be'ezrat Hashem, Naaseh v'Natzliach.